What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to the TV Toycast YouTube channel. Today we are unboxing from the Maniacs line, or the Golden Era Professional Wrestling, I believe. They had a couple of different names, but we are unboxing Rick Steiner, Scott Steiner, the Steiner brothers. What a fun line. These are kind of retros, but kind of also something different, which I think is important in this day and age. We're seeing a lot of retro fatigue. You guys experiencing that? I still have a lot of retro figures to unbox. In fact, after I do this video, I'm literally unboxing another retro figure. So we have a lot of retros, and while I love them, I too am experiencing a little bit of retro fatigue, where we're seeing a lot of the same stuff, and I think a lot of people are like, man, I kind of just want something different. And I think that happens with toy lines, right? I know that it happens with me a lot, where I'm real hot and heavy in Marvel Legends, and all of a sudden I'm like, you know what, I think I'm good on those for a while. And it's not that I dislike the figures, or maybe they're just something that I don't necessarily want in that very moment. It definitely happens. But I thought these were a lot of fun. I know I saw a lot of renders of these over the years, and was always hoping for officially licensed figures. And as you can see here, it's an officially licensed product, which is really cool. And good timing, because as we know, the Steiner brothers are under a WWE Legends deal. So they must have snuck in and got it right in the nick of time, which I think is great, being able to get these guys in line. And, of course, we already had the Road Warriors, the Legion of Doom. I've already unboxed those, as a matter of fact, and you can check that out in the archives. Great figures. And we also know Wave 2 of these is actually up for pre-order now as I record this. They did I believe it was a WrestleCade exclusive. It wasn't WrestleCon. I think it was WrestleCade. Don't quote me on that. I'll put the picture in here, but I don't remember for sure. But that was Demolition, Axe, and Smash. I did order those, and also available for pre-order are the major players, Matt Cardona and Brian Myers, no stranger to action figures, as we know. The Hardy Boys, Matt and Jeff, which is a really fun set. And, of course, a personal favorite of mine, the Powers of Pain, the Warlord and the Barbarian. So 4 new sets. So we're seeing a lot of Matt Maniacs. What do you guys think? Do you think we'll see a third wave? I really hope so. Do you think we'll stick with tag teams? That's another thing, too. It's only been tag teams so far with this. I would love some grudge matches. Give me a Macho Man versus Jake the Snake. How cool would that be? Or even maybe a mixed match tag team like Haku and Andre the Giant. That would be really cool. Not something you would necessarily expect. You kind of just wonder. Ric Flair seems to be signing with almost every company. So what about a Ric Flair and a Macho Man? Or a Ric Flair, well, I would say Ric Flair and Sting, but I don't think that that's probably doable. But it'll be interesting to see what happens. I mean, I love tag teams, don't get me wrong, but I would love to see some other guys besides tag teams as well, so we'll see what happens. But I would also like to see some NWA representation, maybe some Rock and Roll Express, some Midnight Express. I would love to see Midnight Express get some figures in some of these modern scale lines. I think it'd be a lot of fun. I say modern scale, these are retros, but I think you all know what I mean. But let's take a better look at Rick and Scott. There's Rick, there's got the chest hair. Scott, a little bit more cut up, which is cool. A lot of glares on this, so it's kind of hard to see. I do like the packaging there. Rick there, Steiner brothers. Scott, turn around, look at the back. Cool piece of artwork there. Steiner brothers, Rick and Scott from Bay City, Michigan. Combined weight, 560 pounds. The Steiner brothers, Robert, Rick Steiner, and Scott Steiner, Rick Steiner. Well, that's confusing. Debuted in 1989 after wrestling as amateurs at the University of Michigan and competed in ECW, NJPW, WCW, and WWF, winning 11 World Tag Team Championships and 1 United States Tag Team Championship. They're the first tag team to hold the WWF World Tag Team Championship, the WCW World Tag Team Championship, and the IWGP Tag Team Championship, and are considered one of the greatest tag teams in the history of professional wrestling. It's hard to argue. I love the Steiners. I've always loved the Steiners. So like I said, when they signed a Legends deal with WWE, I don't know if there was anyone more excited than I was. Just because I love this look of the Steiners. To me, I go back to crazy singlet days, right? That's my version of the Steiners. And while I love Big Papa Pump and the Dogface Gremlin and all that other stuff, this is more what I'm into. These are great boxes, really well put together. Like I said, I think the Nerd Closet is where you can order these. And the nerdclosetonline.com, there's all the social media information. Golden Era of Wrestling also. Some other jibber-jabber things. But yeah, Matt Maniacs, really fun line. Like I said, I dig the fact that these are kind of different, but also new. Like kind of what we already know. But unique in a weird way. I don't know. It's hard to explain it. I don't know if you guys understand what I'm saying. I hope you do. I know Steve Hoker's over there shaking his head like, I don't have a clue what you're talking about. Well, no one asked you, pal. think, oh, this guy might be having a hard time standing up. Well, there we go. So let's take a look at the old dog-faced gremlin. I'd say that's Rick Steiner. Very cartoony, but I love the headgear. The chest hair is a fun touch. Not super detailed on there, but I don't think it needs to be. Of course, we got the crazy singlet. We got the tattoos on there, which is interesting. Definitely not something I was expecting. I wouldn't have been too upset if we didn't have tattoos, but I think it's cool that they even put Dog-Faced Gremlin there. That's very cool. And how cool are the two different boots? Now, they didn't mold two different boots. Looks like they just painted them differently. Not a huge deal, but would have been fun. But overall, I believe they used a lot of the same parts for these. I could be wrong. They may have, I'll have to put some pictures up of the Road Warriors. There may be some slight differences, but Scott there got a mullet that, well, not the longest mullet in the world, but I don't hate it. I don't know if this is the greatest likeness, but I know this is Scott Steiner, you know. Arms, I believe, are the same. A little bit more buffed up torso. I don't know if I ever saw Rick and Scott wear these exact singlets, but it looks like something they would wear back in the day for sure. Scott more two-toned. He kind of did that a lot where he'd split them in half in the solid white boots. Very, very cool stuff. You guys remember like the Galoob? Scott Steiner didn't have knee pads on, which I have to bend those a little bit to get him to stand. So the Road Warrior stood great. These guys not so much. I'm not sure I'm a fan of that. But the Scott Steiner figure, I think, was like white boots and like blue shoelaces or something. It was really strange. And he didn't have knee pads on. I'm like, what is going on here? The Rick Steiner looked great, but the Scott Steiner was just a little bit different. It is what it is. But no, I think this is a fun line. And I think the Nerd Closet, the Golden Era of Wrestling, the Matt Maniacs line, they're doing a good job with it. Demolition will hopefully be coming sooner rather than later. I do know if you miss these, you can actually, I believe you can reorder them. That may have closed if you missed that. I could be wrong there. But hopefully you're able to grab them if you wanted them. I believe they retailed for about $65 a set. I think you got a little bit of a discount if you ordered both sets. A little on the expensive side, but if you factor in the cost of retros, I would say it's pretty even there. But like I said, not a whole lot of complaints for me. I do like them a lot. Like I said, I'm a huge fan of the Steiner brothers, so this was kind of a no-brainer for me. I do know them doing kind of 4 sets back-to-back was maybe a little much. I think I would have personally rather done like Demolition and Powers of Pain for Wave 2, Hardy Boys and Major Players for Wave 3, or maybe mix it up. Put like Powers of Pain in the Major Players, the Demolition, and the Hardys, however you want to do it to kind of ease up on the wallet a little bit. I feel like that's going to be an issue with all these retro companies moving forward, where they're a little bit too deep in our wallet, where it's like, okay, I can't buy all of these, and the pre-orders are coming so much. And pre-orders in general, I think, are getting frustrating for people. I've said it before. I'll actually pull them up right here because I got it right here next to me. I think these Super 7 figures from the Ninja Turtles Super 7 figures are phenomenal. I think these things are fantastic. And I think if you see them in stores, you would agree. The problem is that sometimes you don't see them in stores because they're a pre-order style figure. While I understand that, I do think there's something special when you see them in stores. And if you go to like a trade show or a toy show or something and you see them, it's like, whoa. And it does kind of open your eyes a little bit. So there is definitely something to that. Just food for thought, my personal opinion. Others may disagree. I do pre-order, so I'm not going to sit there and say I don't do it. I do use the pre-order model. I think the in-stock drop is a little bit more fun sometimes, but I also understand these companies probably can't afford the cost of making maybe 500 to 1,000 units or whatever their minimum numbers might be. And so I do understand. I understand both sides of it for sure. But like I said, these are really fun. I dig these a lot. I think they do a good job with them. I think for what they are, they're great. Like I said, they're not really retros. Painted on elbow pad there, but I think that's fine. And like Rick's got the painted on wrist tape, which again, I think is great. They're not really retros, but they're not really modern scale. They're kind of their own thing, and I think that's a good thing. Like I said, these guys don't stand as good as the Road Warriors did. I don't know if maybe something to do with those shoulder pads kind of balance them out a little bit better, but Rick's standing a little bit better there. Like I said, you can just tell Scott's a little off balance. Almost like you need to push these legs down just a bit. If you stand them up, a little bit better there. It is what it is. But overall, these are a fun set, and I'm glad I grabbed them. And I think they'll go well with my Road Warriors and hopefully the Demolition and all the other sets in the future. I do plan to order the other 3 sets. It's just a matter of getting around to it and kind of putting your finances in order. Unfortunately, today, I got to buy new tires, which was not my favorite thing to buy. And I'll tell you, you know when you're an adult, when you buy something for an incredible large amount of money, that is not fun, like you're just like, ugh, tires, like, not the most fun thing in the world, but I guess that's what credit cards are for, right? So, what are you going to do? But I appreciate you guys checking out this YouTube video. Make sure to check out the channel, check out my other unboxings. I got a lot of unboxings. I just did a Transformers 4-pack recently. Check that out in the archives. How about the Road Warriors Matt Maniacs 2-pack? I did that probably a month or 2 ago. It's been a minute, actually, so check that out in the archives. Speaking of 2-packs, how about the Marvel Legends X-Men Colossus and Juggernaut 2-pack, which was a lot of fun. Operation Monster Force over there from Fresh Monkey Fiction. I recently unboxed Count Dracula. I've got like 7 other figures of those I need to unbox, so I'll hopefully get to those sooner rather than later. How about DC Multiverse? Guys like Godspeed, Santa Batman, Eradicator, Green Arrow, Static Shock, all available in the archives. If you're a Super 7 fan, how about Lion-O and Monkeyin from the Thundercats line? More Thundercats to come. As well as Michelangelo from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles line. I just showed him like 2 seconds ago. How about, if you're a Mattel Elite fan, Luke Doink, Butch Doink, both versions of the Bushwhackers in the Doink makeup. What a home run from Mattel. Lots of cool stuff coming from Mattel, as we just saw a bunch of reveals at WrestleMania. Anything that's kind of striking your fancy. There's a few. I like the random stuff. John Tenta with half his head shaved. I'm here for that one. G.I. Bro, are you kidding me? Make a Difference Fatu. Give them all to me. I will be picking up all of those. I love anything a little bit obscure. Always makes me laugh. I mentioned retros. I got a lot of retros like Chris Van Vliet from Rush Collectibles, Bobby the Brain Heenan from Epic Toys, Chris Candido from Zombie Sailor Toys, and how about some other ones? Oh my gosh, what else do we have? From Hastel Toy, I did Macho Man Randy Savage. How about that one? How about Kurt Fuller? Or how about Sensational Sherry? Also from the Mattel retros, Shawn Michaels or Alundra Blaze. All available in the archives. And make sure to check out Tales of the Toy Box. Episode 1 is now available. All about the G.I. Joe Street Fighter line. Really fun episode. Episode 2 I'm actually going to be working on tonight. I'm going to be recording a little bit more of that. This should be dropping hopefully sometime in May. That's my goal. So I got to get rolling on that as well. And then, of course, check out the TB Toycast podcast. Wherever you get your podcasts, a new episode drops every Thursday. It's me and Travis. We have a main event topic as well as talking about all the toy news of the world. Things we like, we don't like, things we're excited about, things we're picking up, things we're possibly selling off, and everything in between. So check that out every Thursday wherever you get your podcast. And that's all I got. That's Rick Steiner. That's Scott Steiner. They're the Steiner brothers. And we will see you guys in the toy aisle.
Yeah. One more time. It ain't over till I say it's over. So lock the cage up, cause this is a takeover. The wait's over. If this the final time we meet, then you'll be on your back on my feet. Then I'll tip the cage over as a hangover. I'm super fly so I can splash off the top. And I can shut down the shot.